What's up, Brite Nation?
Hey, what's going on, Brite Nation?
So in the last video, you might have noticed that my dear old sweet husband here completely abandoned me.
I mean, I'm wearing the same hat and same shirt
in the closeout
as the last video.
Problems that we have discovered.
What the hell is that?
But anyways,
hey, listen to that. It sounds supercharged. Hey!
Anyways, guys, ADD turned around, walked away.
Well, this is only 5 minutes later.
It's only 5 minutes later from when we closed out. The reason why is because of this. Well, I'd like you guys to meet Dave with Craftworks and their supercharged JL Wrangler.
So we were closing out the last video, and I hear like something just screaming down the dirt road here. I look over, I see a JL and
whining.
What I thought was a front mount and whining, and I'm like, hey, is that thing like blown or something? What's going on? So I wave these guys down. Well, they happen to be out here because it's like 95, 96 degrees today, and they're coming out to the dunes out here at Johnson Valley to test their supercharger setup. And I mean, they might have flagged him down and
might have convinced him to let us drive it.
So as everybody knows, our personal experience with forced induction has not been great with Jeeps. I have personally turboed and supercharged more than probably 50 or 60 vehicles. I've owned over 150 probably. And when we turbocharged ours, we didn't get any help from the actual manufacturer. And this was a year and a half ago when people just cracked the ECU, and I don't think there was enough. We always said it was the tuning. The hard parts were good, but it was always in the tuning, and we didn't have really any help. And so these guys are saying that they've got it down because you said there's like in the tuning itself, there's like over 150.
Yeah, we touched 104 maps out
104
of the,
maps.
It's actually over 30,000 maps for this vehicle, if you can believe
Which
that.
is way more than a normal vehicle.
So you hear that over 30,000 maps. Now, you heard that same thing with like our Supra. Our Supra has the same ZF8 transmission, but a lot of the new ECUs have like 30,000 maps just so they don't blow up. They're so safe now. But then that makes it harder to actually tune.
You've been in the business of supercharging for...
Yeah, over a decade now. We've been creating superchargers for American muscle or modern muscle, all different kinds of cars and trucks. And once again, our slogan is, not all boost is created equal. So we feel like we can do this the right way.
So I want to be clear here. We know nothing about the company. We know nothing about the supercharger. These guys aren't paying us to do this. We literally saw them. Like we're not getting a supercharger out of this. Like
there's nothing in it for us.
There's nothing in this for us. I just saw it and I talked him in. I was like, can I drive it? Because when we talked and he said, hey, no, we've got it down. Like we're on 91 octane. It's 91 degrees out. We're in California, which has like the worst fuel in the country. And he's like, no, come rip on it in the dunes. Let's go take it out to the street. So guys, this isn't like we're plugging some company. We don't know these guys.
Now you guys are testing it though, because it is still pre-production at the moment.
And we'll take a look later on and we'll talk about the pre-production. We've had a JK kit out for a little over a year. This is our first JL kit. It's in our test vehicle. And yeah, we're gonna make sure we get the tune right. We're gonna make sure we get the components right. We're not gonna release anything before it's ready. We believe in what we're doing and we believe it's better.
And
now the Jeep has like 8,000 miles on it as of right now. So,
correct.
Supercharged day one.
This is 8,000 supercharged miles. Day one, this has had a supercharger on it. It's a 2020 JL. We've had it since it was new. It's been supercharged since it was new. My goal is to put 100,000 miles on it before this kit is production, yeah.
And you're gonna have to start doing some Lite Brite traveling.
Yeah,
if you wanna.
That's right.
So no, guys. I mean, I'm skeptical. I blew ours up. Everybody we know with turbos blew theirs up. I know a few people with other supercharger kits that are on their 4th or 5th motors, but
it's not saying it can't be done. It just takes time to figure out the tuning.
Yeah.
And we figured this would, I mean, honestly, ironically enough, the perfect time to maybe test it out. Because it's been like a year and a half since we blew ours up with a turbo. So I figured, let's test it out. I'll let Kevin drive. I'll film. And let's go a little faster.
Let's see what happens, yeah.
So paved road first.
There's 40, 50, there's 60. I mean, that's 70. So it doesn't slow down at 50 or 60. It pulls
all
50, 60, all the way to 70.
It'll pull up to 90, 95 too.
Like, no problem.
Which would be illegal.
Well, this is a private road, so let's see. We're at 70 right now. If I get 75, 80, 85.
Punch it at 90.
It keeps going.
You can punch it at 90, it'll downshift and keep going, keep pulling.
It feels super super linear.
Yeah, centrifugal supercharger increases efficiency as the RPMs increase.
Right.
So unlike a positive pressure supercharger that has a fall off at a certain point, centrifugal supercharger won't have that.
So we just did a full pull, and I went from 206 to 210, 212, and now it's down to 208 almost instantly. So there's 206. So right now we're doing 65, it's 206 degrees, and if I punch it, I mean, superchargers create a lot of heat. Well, I mean,
Centrifugal superchargers create significantly less heat.
less heat.
Yeah. We've got a largest capacity intercooler we can have.
Oh yeah, so the intercooler blocks airflow to the condenser and the radiator, but my coolant temps, I just went from 206 to 210 back down to 208 when I just did a pull from 65 to 95.
Yeah, a big part of our testing today is to figure out if we have any heat issues.
Trans temp 212, oil temp 213, and I don't hear any detonation at part throttle, which is where I really heard it. When I would just tip in 5, 10, 15% is where I could always hear it. It was audible. I don't hear it in this at all. And you're on crap 91 fuel too. All right, before we get into anything else, I do want to ask, I want you guys to know too. So they have the kit for the JK. What does a JK kit cost?
JK is $4,600 retail.
$4,600. That's, if you don't know anybody, you don't know anything, you don't know Lite Brite. Because if we have to offer our Lite Brite fans maybe a discount, I don't know. But
absolutely.
So the JL is going to be a lot more expensive than $4,600 because it's a JL and it's new.
Nope, that's the same price on our JL kit. It starts at $4,600.
Yeah, it does. It sounds really good. It runs great. I mean, consistent each time. We're at 199 coolant temp. We just did what, 6 passes? I don't know if you're putting all 6 in the video, but we just did 6, and the temp's important. The temp's very important when it comes to supercharging.
You want to go try it out in the dirt?
Let's go do the dunes.
He goes, yes.
Let's go do the dunes. Yeah, so we just actually put a supercharger, Paxton Novi 1600 on our Corvette, and it's super nice. Like, the very linear fashion of it is very predictable. I like turbos personally. I love turbos, but I've never had a kind of a larger displacement supercharger. And it's really nice to be able to throw that on a stock Corvette engine, you know. So I guess, is that your guys's
and once again, our philosophy is getting the most horsepower you can get out of your stock setup.
But safely. Like this, you don't want this to go 100,000 miles with 0 issues.
Yeah, and we can always change a pulley and create boost that creates maybe unsafe amounts of horsepower for this engine. That's always a step away, but that's just not our direct philosophy to the consumer. You know, get the most you can out of your stock engine, get the most mileage, get the most miles, and the most power and response.
It sounds great. All right, so we just got done ripping it up and down the road. We went out to the dunes. We abused the absolute crap out of it. We got it hot, but not really too hot. It felt great. It really did feel like it should. Like, I'm actually pretty impressed with it. But this is still pre-production because you're wanting to get 100,000 miles on it, and you're at 8.
Yep. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah. So like we said, we've got 8,000 miles on this boosted. This here is just a filter on a stick. Basically, we're going to be molding a top piece for the stock airbox. So if you wanted to run a snorkel, you can still do that. This piece here, you can see it gets a little touch up on basically the insulation of the hood. We're gonna roto mold this so it comes down a little bit in the profile. Might put our logo on it. It won't be the silicone tube anymore. Other than that, this is how it's gonna be production. You've got the bracket, you got the supercharger, you got the piping, you got the intercooler, It's made to have everybody at home be able to put it in. If you can lift your intake and put injectors in, you can install this kit yourself.
So one thing that's actually really cool is that the belt that's driving the supercharger is not part of the serpentine
Correct.
system.
It's divorced.
It's divorced. So if you were to lose your supercharger belt for whatever reason, your engine's still fine.
Yeah,
like
you're gonna get home.
your pump.
You're
and
not
all that stuff.
stranded.
You're not stranded. Everything's still turning. Everything's still good. The engine is completely separate.
Still fully functional,
Right.
essentially. Which
Got
is
a lot of good feedback from different manufacturers, such as PSC Steering, about a location of all of our attachments. It doesn't get in the way. It doesn't prevent the addition of other
Oh, so
really
you're working
important
with other
components.
companies.
other
Yeah.
aftermarket components,
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah.
which is super cool. And honestly, I mean, it's still pre-production, as they said, which means that you guys can actually follow them and their progression on, honestly, as they get closer to the production model, because they're going to be changing a couple things, and they're going to be making sure that the tuning, which is, I know, our biggest issue with our Prodigy Turbo, is actually on point before they release the product.
Correct. Once again, you can find us at craftworksusa.com, Craftworks USA on Instagram.
Yeah, so definitely keep an eye on them if you're looking for a forced induction for your JL or your JT, correct?
JK.
And obviously they already have the kit out for the JK as well, but this is hopefully another huge step towards actually being able to reliably force induce and add a lot of power to your vehicle for a fraction of the cost of what a Hemi swap might have cost you.
I mean, a V8 swap is going to cost you a lot. I mean, a V8 swap is insane, wonderful, but this is very cost effective.
And it sounds like a jet engine, which is pretty rad. Again, though, like, we don't really benefit from this. It was just really dope that they were out here testing, and it's something cool that we can show you that's something new and upcoming for the JLs and the JTs, especially since obviously our prior experience with the
Was no good, but
Was not that
this
great.
this was definitely the best experience I've had with a forced induction.
So guys, honestly, keep an eye out on them. Follow them on their website and their Instagram. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, you can find all your Lite Brite Nation merch at LiteBriteStudios.com. All your Lite Brite Nation decals at PixelDecals.com. We love you so much, and we will see you next time. Bye! Have a little kiss. Mwah.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just a normal one. I love you.
Oh,
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Oh.
That was a good one, Jelly Bellies.
So we got to Trail Hero a few days early, so instead we came down to Vegas to come scuba diving out here in Lake Mead. Here's Brittany all ready to go. And we're gonna take you guys along for the ride. Oh, there's Kelly. So he's the one that scuba certified us. He's in a dry suit. He's the lucky one. We're all in wetsuits, but we're gonna go take you underwater here with us to Lake Mead.
Here's Jason.
Come on, Scuba Jay.
awesome. Dude,
That was so rad.
I was like,
He got a little too short on me, and he was like, roll, roll. We're like,
That was fun.
straight up James Bond.